Ayurtate. These 7 forgotten anti-aging foods. What happened at my next checkup shocked me. You ever get that feeling? Like time is speeding up, but your body is slowing down. The days fly by, but your energy? Well, not so much. I was standing at the sink one morning, making my usual cup of coffee. The sun was coming through the window just right. Everything looked calm, but inside I felt anything but calm. Tired. Achy, foggy in the head, like my spark was dimming quietly gradually. That morning I looked at my reflection in the microwave door, and I said out loud, when did I start settling for this? It was not a dramatic moment, no heart attack, no scary diagnosis, just an honest moment of I miss feeling alive. Then something unexpected happened. A friend of mine, Carl, came by that afternoon. He is 72, retired military, and normally a pretty stubborn guy. But this time he looked lighter, brighter. He said, "John, I changed my food. Nothing fancy, just old school eating the way my grandma cooked." That line stuck with me. So I tried it. And folks, the difference I felt. Let us just say, my doctor did not believe my blood pressure numbers were real. This video is about the 7 forgotten foods I brought back into my life. Foods our grandparents used that science is now catching up with. One of them, number 6, made such a difference in my mental clarity that even my wife noticed. And trust me, she notices everything. So before we go any further, tell me this. If you are tired of feeling just okay, press the number, mouse, because today we are going to rediscover the simple, powerful, nourishing foods that never should have left our table. Let us begin. Let us be honest, eating in America today is not what it used to be. If you walk down any grocery aisle, you are met with boxes and bags shouting words like low-fat heart, healthy, or sugar-free, but turn them around, and you will find ingredients you cannot pronounce, added chemicals, and enough sodium to salt your driveway in winter. For many seniors, especially those living alone or with limited mobility, meals become a matter of convenience. Microwavable dinners, instant oatmeal, crackers and cheese, canned soup. And you know what, I get it. Life is busy even in retirement. Cooking from scratch every day sounds exhausting. But here is what breaks my heart. We traded real food for speed, and the price we are paying is our energy, our sleep, our memory, and often our independence. Let us take a look at a common senior breakfast: white toast with margarine, coffee with powdered creamer, maybe a banana or some cereal that looks healthy on the front of the box. Seems harmless, right? But nutritionally, that is a fast track to blood sugar, spikes, inflammation, and hunger again by mid-morning. Your heart is not getting the support it needs. Your brain is running low on fuel. And your gut, where over 70% of your immune system lives, is starving for fiber and good bacteria. Now here's the twist. Many of the most powerful foods for longevity. I am talking about anti-aging foods are not expensive. They are not exotic. They are the very foods our grandparents ate without even thinking. But somewhere along the way, we were told those foods were old-fashioned or just disappeared from shelves. Liver too strong, sauerkraut smells funny, beets takes too long to cook. Seaweed, that is for sushi, right? Wrong. These foods are nutritional powerhouses, and modern science is now proving what older generations already knew from experience. They work. I want to ask you something. What is one food your grandparents or parents used to eat regularly that you never see anymore? Write it in the comments. Just one word. You might be surprised how many others remember the same thing. Because here's the truth. It is not our age that is making us feel slow. It is the slow erosion of nutrients in our modern food supply. But the good news, you can bring those nutrients back one bite at a time. And in the next section, I will show you how each of these forgotten foods affects your heart, brain, gut, and even your mood backed by real science. You will never look at that jar of sauerkraut or that bowl of lentils the same way again. Let us talk science, but I promise in plain English. You do not need a degree in biochemistry to understand how your body works. You just need to know this: everything you eat becomes information for your cells. That means food does not just fill you up, it gives your body instructions. Good food. It tells your body to repair, rebuild, protect. Bad food. It triggers inflammation, confusion, and damage at a microscopic level. And guess what? Many of the forgotten foods we are bringing back in today's episode, they are like little nutritional repair kits handed down from your great-grandmother. Let me walk you through how a few of them actually work. Beets, the circulation. Supercharger. Beets contain nitrates which convert to nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes and widens blood vessels. That means better blood flow to your brain, heart, and muscles. It is like turning the pressure down on a garden hose. Everything flows smoother. A study from Wake Forest University in 2023 found that older adults who consumed beet juice daily for 6 weeks showed improved cognitive performance and walking speed. And yes, that includes folks in their 70s. Liver. The brain's best friend, I know. Liver sounds intense, but it is nature's multivitamin. It is loaded with vitamin A, iron, B12, folate, and CoQ10, all nutrients critical for brain function and energy production. A Cleveland Clinic study from 2024 showed that seniors with optimal B12 levels had significantly lower rates of cognitive decline and depression. And guess what the richest food source of B12 is? That's right, beef liver. Even just one serving a week can make a difference. Fermented cabbage, your gut's secret weapon. Whether it is sauerkraut, kimchi, or pickled turnips, fermented veggies are packed with probiotics. And here is why that matters. Over 70% of your immune system is in your gut. Your gut bacteria also talk to your brain through what scientists call the gut-brain axis. A 2023 study from Stanford University found that seniors who consumed fermented foods daily for 10 weeks had reduced markers of inflammation and improved microbiome diversity. That means better digestion, fewer colds, and even clearer thinking. Seaweed, the thyroid guardian. Most of us do not get enough iodine these days, and your thyroid needs it to regulate your metabolism and energy. Enter seaweed. Nori dulse wakame. All of these are naturally rich in iodine, plus they contain fiber and antioxidants. I know it sounds exotic, but adding just a little to soups or salads a couple times a week can support your hormones and energy. And studies from the National Institutes of Health confirm seniors with healthy thyroid levels report better sleep focus and weight control. Barley and lentils. The blood sugar balancers. Whole grains like barley and legumes like lentils are full of something called soluble fiber, which slows digestion and keeps your blood sugar steady. That means fewer crashes, fewer cravings, and less strain on your pancreas. A Harvard study in 2024 followed over 12,000 adults and found that those who consumed lentils and barley at least 3 times a week had a 31% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. And yes, they are affordable. A whole pound of lentils costs less than $2. So what does all this mean for you? It means that adding these foods to your diet is not just old-fashioned, it is smart. It is backed by data, and it is doable. You do not need to eat them all at once, but even adding 2 or 3 of these anti-aging foods a few times a week can send powerful signals to your cells. Repair, restore, rebuild. If this surprised you or reminded you of something your mom or grandmother used to serve, press the numbers, and leave a comment with the word science if you want me to send you links to the studies I mentioned today. Because remember, the food you eat is not just calories, it is conversation, and your body is always listening. let me tell you about Carl. Now, if you met Carl a year ago, you might have thought he was just another grumpy grandpa with a military buzz cut and a no-nonsense attitude. And you would not be wrong. Carl is 72. He served 2 tours overseas, ran a construction company, raised 4 kids. He is tough proud and never liked being told what to do, especially not about food. I still remember him saying, "John food is food. If it fills the belly and keeps me going, I'm good." His idea of lunch was usually a ham sandwich, maybe a bag of chips, and a diet soda. Dinner canned soup or microwaved meatloaf. He thought fiber was a marketing gimmick and probiotics were for hippies. But over time, Carl changed, and not in a good way. His wife Patty told me he had started repeating himself. He would forget small things where he parked, what time his grandson's game started. He also complained more about heartburn, and he had trouble sleeping through the night. And for a man like Carl, admitting that was huge. So one afternoon, over coffee, I gently said, "Carl, you taught me to use the right tool for the job, but your body is running on the wrong fuel." He smirked and said, "All right, Doc, show me this magic menu of yours." We kept it simple. No kale smoothies, no detox kits. For 4 weeks, we added just a few powerful old-school foods to his meals. Sauerkraut with lunch, a spoonful next to his sandwich. Beets roasted with olive oil for dinner twice a week. A barley lentil stew once a week, slow-cooked with garlic and bone broth. And yes, even a bit of liver pate, spread on whole grain toast once a week. He called it weirdly good. We swapped his chips for roasted pumpkin seeds and gave his gut a rest by cutting out processed snacks after dinner. That was it. No major overhaul, just simple switches. And by week 3, something clicked. Carl called me one morning and said, "I don't know what's happening, but I woke up at 6 feeling awake. Like really awake." His heartburn was gone. His memory had improved, not perfect, but noticeably better. He was sleeping through the night. He even started walking to the post office every morning, a mile, round trip rain or shine. But here is the part that got me. Patty called me with tears in her voice. She said, "John, I got my husband back." He laughs again. He finishes his sentences. He remembers to kiss me goodnight. That, my friend, is the power of food. It is not about perfection. It is about nourishment, real, restorative, time-tested nourishment. If you have ever watched someone you love slowly fade, whether from memory loss fatigue or just giving up, press the number 3s. And if Carl's story feels familiar, know that there is hope, and it might just be waiting in your fridge, not your pharmacy. Coming up, I will walk you through each of the 7 forgotten foods we used with serving tips, flavor tricks, and why they work. You do not need a new prescription. You need a new plate. All right, now that you have heard Carl's story and maybe felt a little tug in your own heart, it is time to get practical. Let us talk about the 7 forgotten foods that helped Carl and helped me feel stronger, think clearer, and age on our own terms. These are not trendy superfoods. They are not expensive, and they are not complicated to use. They are real, affordable, deeply nourishing foods that your grandparents probably ate without even knowing they were doing something smart. So grab a pen or just take a mental note, because even adding 2 or 3 of these into your week can create a real shift in your body. Number 1, beets. The natural circulation. Booster beets are rich in nitrates, which convert into nitric oxide, a molecule that helps open up your blood vessels and improve blood flow. That means better oxygen to your brain, heart, and muscles. It supports blood pressure, energy, and mental clarity. Best use: roast them with olive oil, salt, and thyme. Quick tip: add cold beet slices to a salad with feta cheese and walnuts. Goal: eat beets 2 to 3 times per week. Number 2, bone broth, the gut healing classic. This old-fashioned comfort food is full of collagen amino acids like glycine and minerals that soothe your joints and support digestion. Bone broth helps seal and heal your gut lining, which is crucial as we age, especially for nutrient absorption and immunity. Best use: sip it warm with a pinch of turmeric and black pepper. Quick tip: use it as a base for lentil soup or barley stew. Goal 1: mug or bowl 3 times per week. Number 3, fermented cabbage. The forgotten probiotic. Sauerkraut and kimchi are filled with beneficial bacteria that restore gut health, support immune function, and even impact mood and memory via the gut-brain axis. But most store-bought versions are pasteurized and lose their good bacteria. Look for raw, refrigerated, unpasteurized versions. Best use 1 to 2 tablespoons as a side with lunch. Quick tip: add to sandwiches or mix into coleslaw. Goal 3: servings per week. Number 4, liver. The original multivitamin beef or chicken liver contains more vitamin A, B12, iron, and folate than almost any plant food, all critical for energy, brain health, and red blood cell production. Yes, the taste takes getting used to, but the payoff is big. Best use: blend into pâté and spread on toast with a squeeze of lemon. Quick tip: mix chopped liver into ground beef patties or meatballs. Goal 1: serving per week is enough. Number 5, lentils. The blood sugar stabilizer. Lentils are rich in fiber, plant protein, iron, and magnesium. They help regulate blood sugar, improve digestion, and keep you fuller longer. Best use: make a lentil soup with garlic, carrots, onions, and olive oil. Quick tip: chill cooked lentils and use them in cold salads with vinegar and herbs. Goal: 1/2 to 1 cup 3 times per week. Number 6, barley. The heart-friendly grain. Barley contains beta-glucan, a type of soluble fiber that helps lower cholesterol and stabilize blood sugar. Unlike refined grains, barley digests slowly, helping reduce insulin spikes and keeping you energized longer. Best use: cook into soups or stews instead of white rice or pasta. Quick tip: try it for breakfast, like oatmeal with cinnamon and chopped nuts. Goal: 1/2 cup 2 to 3 times per week. Number 7, seaweed, the thyroid hero. Seaweed like nori dulse or wakame is rich in iodine, which supports thyroid function and metabolism. It also contains antioxidants, calcium, and magnesium. Best use: sprinkle dried dulse flakes onto eggs or rice. Quick tip: add cut seaweed to miso soup or veggie broth. Goal: 1 to 2 small servings per week. Now, I know some of these might sound unfamiliar, but remember, your body is not asking for perfection. It is asking for nutrients, real ones, in real food. Start small. Here is your quick action step. Press the number 1 here if you will commit to trying just one of these this week, and type the word "trying" in the comments, followed by the food you are choosing first. Let us cheer each other on, because every small shift adds up, and sometimes the key to moving forward is looking back to the foods that built generations before us. Coming up next, we are going to wrap this all together, reflect on what matters most, and I will share what to expect next when you start adding these foods to your daily routine. So what did we really talk about today? We did not just go through a grocery list. We talked about memory, about energy, about the quiet hope that maybe, just maybe, it is not too late to feel good again. We talked about Carl, a proud, stubborn man who found joy again through beets, bone broth, and barley. And if a 72-year-old ex-Marine can change his life with a spoonful of sauerkraut and a bowl of lentils, you and I can too. You learned about 7 forgotten anti-aging foods, not from a lab, but from tradition. Not fancy powders or pills, but real ingredients that fuel the brain, support the heart, and bring the gut back to life. Let us recap real quick. Beets for circulation, bone broth for healing, fermented cabbage for your immune system, liver for deep nourishment, lentils and barley for stable energy, seaweed for thyroid balance, and the best part, you do not have to do all of them. You do not need to change your whole life overnight. Pick 2. That is it. 2 foods. Add them to your week. Not because someone on the internet said so, but because your body deserves better than survival mode. If this episode gave you a spark of motivation, press the number hopper 5 on your keyboard and type the word forgotten in the comments. I am putting together a printable checklist of these foods and tips, and I will send it to everyone who joins the conversation. Also, if this reminded you of someone, a friend, a spouse, maybe your own parent, share the video with them. You never know whose health you could change with one click. Next up on Longevity Life, we are diving into 5 healing habits from the world's longest living seniors. You will see what folks in Japan, Italy, and even small-town Minnesota have in common, and how to bring those habits into your own day. Because aging is not something to fear, it is something to shape. One meal, one habit, one breath at a time. Until next time, take care of yourself. You are worth it. Dr. John Smith.